are you?
Good. Thanks for everybody coming out. Really appreciate it. I hope you guys got something out of it. I know you'd like to see more practice, but I hope it was worthwhile. We had some great energy. I hope everybody's got a chance to see some of the graphics that we got going up on the fence, which we're excited about. We think it looks really classy. But again, thank you so much for coming out. What you got?
Sounds like you're losing your voice, James. You've been screaming a lot and yelling a lot in practice.
Yeah, but this is typical. I mean, this is typical camp. I feel pretty good. Staff feels pretty good. The weather's been unbelievable. I wish it was a little bit hotter, to be honest with you. But it's been great. I think we've had great energy at practice. Guys are flying around. We've gotten better. I've dramatically seen us get better, especially on special teams. I think our punters, from the beginning of camp to the end, have improved. And that's going to be big for us. So I like where we're at right now.
What have you seen from the offensive line?
They're working extremely hard. They're working together well. They're a very prideful group. I make the argument everywhere I've ever been, the offensive linemen are always great guys. I mean, they're the best guys. I mean, they get very little attention unless things go wrong. Herb does a really good job of bonding with those guys, not only with him, but getting the whole group to bond together and to communicate as one and play as one, because that's what it's all about. You can be wrong on the O-line, but everybody has to be wrong together, if you understand what I'm saying. Everybody's got to be on the same page, and you still got a chance to be successful. So, I think they're doing some nice things. We got to stay healthy, and we got to continue to get better and develop some of the young guys.
You announced the move of Cole Farmer to linebacker. That's been something that's talked about for a little bit. But why now? Why did you make that move now?
It really, came down to, he came to camp, he was 215 pounds. He ran 4.4. By the time spring ball comes, he's going to be 225 pounds. His dad was a 235-pound tailback at Hawaii. I just think genetics and training table, he's just going to grow into it. And as you guys know, we have some depth concerns at the linebacker position. That gives us another guy that's got the size that we're looking for and has the movement. That's what's so valuable about recruiting safeties right now. In our scheme, we play with 3 safeties on the field almost all the time. So, so those guys are valuable, big, strong, athletic guys that can make plays in space.
You talked a lot about the speed of the freshman class. How has that translated into on-field performance? Because a lot of times one doesn't actually equate to the other.
At this point, I think you're right on. You're accurate. I think at this point, the freshmen for the most part are still thinking. You see their speed in individual, but it doesn't always show up the way you'd like it to show up during the periods, and that's because they're thinking so much. They're not only thinking about their assignment on defense or on offense, but they're also thinking about how they got to react to whatever the team they're going against, the defense or an offense. Different coverages, different looks, different formations. So that's what we got to do here in the next, what do we got, 16 days or something like that. We got to get those guys playing fast. Well, they're just so much more confident in what we're asking them to do, and they're consistent. I mean, I think that's the biggest thing across the board at any position, and especially on special teams, is being consistent. So, I'd rather you punt it 38 yards every single time than punt it one time 56 yards, another time 26 yards. You understand what I'm saying? It's the consistency, and they've done a much better job with that. The location of the ball is something that we talk about a lot with those guys, and I see their confidence growing. Just like Ficken, we saw his confidence grow this spring and all summer. I'm seeing that right now with our punters.
James, you've had a week and a half to watch this team. What's been some of the bigger surprises so far this preseason?
I'm not really sure. There hasn't been anything that's really jumped out to me from a surprise standpoint. I think we got some really good football players. I think we do. I think the staff being together now for 4 years is really valuable, and I see it showing up in a lot of different areas. How we plan, how we prepare, how we come out here and we're effective. I think a lot of times with my personality, more I think is always better, and that's not necessarily the case. And we're being smart and cutting some things back. Tim Bream, our trainer's done a great job giving us feedback from that perspective, and then so is Dwight Galt as well. So I don't know if there's been anything that surprised me, but I think overall I'm pretty pleased with what we've been able to do.
Have you guys geared toward planning for Central Florida more, and then also with that game being in Ireland, of course, are you going to do anything to like get used to the time change? Obviously, 5 or 6 hours different.
Yeah, we haven't started anything with Central Florida yet. We will here. Soon we'll flip the switch kind of when we go to scout teams and those types of things. But yeah, we have a whole plan. I mean, you guys heard me talk about it, you know, all the caravan stops and everything else about how, you know, we studied, we talked to other coaches, we talked to Navy, we talked to Notre Dame. I think we've talked about all these things in the preparation that's gone into to the trip to Ireland. But yeah, we've done a lot of things, a lot of research.
So are you going to be like practicing like early in the morning and stuff like that to get used to the time change stuff?
No. Good. You don't want to lose anybody, but that's the position we probably have the most depth. And I think Jasicki's done a nice thing. We all know he's really athletic. Part of his issue, though, is he's never put his hand in the ground ever. That's like Chance Sorrell, for example. He's playing offensive tackle, and when we recruited him, he was listed as a tight end. He played wide out in high school. He was a 6'6", 250-pound, flexed out tight end. I don't know if I would call that a tight end. So we got a lot of guys that come here, and we're asking them to do things that they've never done before. I think running and catching, things that deal with space and athleticism, he's done a great job with. You know, we got to continue getting him more confident when it comes to blocking. As you guys saw, we reported early this summer, he benched 385 pounds for a long, lean kid. So he's got the tools that you're looking for to be an effective blocker.
What are some of the characteristics or qualities of coaching a team that's composed pretty much half true freshmen or redshirt?
You know, I don't think about that a whole lot. Somebody sent me a stat the other day that we have the second youngest team in America. I don't know. I can't change it, so spending a whole lot of time on it. We just coach the guys that are here, and we coach them hard, and we love them hard, and we fly around and have fun and develop them. And we do the same thing with the seniors. We do the same thing with the freshmen. I probably spend more time with the freshmen. We have brunch on Sundays together. I bring them in at night. We're finishing up class right now because these guys are dealing with a lot of things. They come in right away. They got to adjust academically. They got to adjust athletically. They got to adjust socially. They got to adjust spiritually, the whole package. So spending a little bit more time with them, because one of the things that's important to me is that freshman picture you saw that we took the other day. I want to see that same picture 4 to 5 years from now with those guys walking across the stage and playing some good football for us. One of the things that's been great is each night we bring different speakers in. The President Barron came in and spoke the other night, did a great job. We had the Women's Center come in and speak to us as well. We're going to have campus police. Each night we have a different message come from outside to come and talk to the teams. There's been some really good messages. I think that's really important for our young players like the freshmen from a development standpoint so they can get adjusted to Penn State and the community.
Not only Hackenberg, but O'Connor and the others.
Yeah, really good. I've been obviously very pleased with Hack. I think his improvement from the spring and his confidence and his command at offense, I think across the board is much better. The number 2 battle is interesting. McSorley, all the things that we thought about him when we recruited him, he's a winner, he's smart, he's picked it up really well. He doesn't panic. That's what you see a lot of times, these young kids, you put them in there and they don't see that. So, I think Mike has had a great, O'Connor's had a great summer. Deej, Dwight Gall, our strength coach, said he's maybe had the best summer of anybody on the team. But McSorley's right there, and that's what we want. We want to create competition at every position, especially the quarterback position.
Guys spoke pretty highly of Hamilton last week. What have you seen out of him? And even though he hasn't played, does he maybe have a leg up since he's been in the program, he's been around?
Well, I don't know. I mean, he's got a semester ahead of maybe some of the other young guys, but he's got great movement. He's got great body control. He's like a lot of the young players. He's got to be more consistent. There's a lot of guys across this country that can make great plays, but can they be consistent? Can they be consistent in how they work and their focus and things like that? And as a redshirt freshman who really didn't play a whole lot, he basically conditioned and lifted because he was limited from an injury. This is all still brand new for him, to be honest with you.
From a leadership perspective, how have you seen Hackenberg develop?
In my short period, of time here, he's been strong the whole time. It's hard for me to say because I wasn't here, obviously, when he first showed up on campus. But I think whenever you see a sophomore, a true sophomore, not a redshirt sophomore, be voted by his peers as a captain, and it was a landslide. I mean, I think that tells you that he's earned those guys' respect not just on the football field, but in the classroom and on campus and in the community, because that's what we talk about. You know, those guys are captains. They're not just captains on the football field. They're captains 24 hours a day, and we need that leadership, and that's why one of the reasons why we have 7, because I don't think you can ever have enough leadership on your team.
How important is that your quarterback be one of your captains? Is that important as everyone makes it out to be?
I don't think it's the end-all, be-all. I think in a lot of ways you'd probably like that to be, but I've been on teams where your quarterback wasn't your captain and you've been successful. You know, I think it's a nice luxury to have, but I don't think it's something, you know, that's imperative.
Keeping him fresh is obviously a priority. Is he on a kind of a pitch count of sorts throughout the week, or what kind of measures are you taking to kind of have him at the end of the week as good as he was at the beginning?
Yes, he is, but I think part of that is we handle that through recruiting and development. So my point is the fact that we have 5 quarterbacks, it kind of takes care of itself, if that makes sense. And it's not just reps and team and Skelly, it's individual as well, you know. But yeah, we're definitely aware of that, and we keep track of that. But again, having Fessler and having Crook and having O'Connor and having McSorley, that really helps with that. We'd always like to have 5 quarterbacks on the roster.
Coach Secondary had some issues last year with communications and things like that. How have they come together with some of you guys coming in the fold and with that star position?
I've been very pleased with our defense as a whole this spring, you know, this summer, and really, you know, this camp. I think you look across the board at the guys that we have on the field, really all 11 starters, and really some really good depth as well at other positions. I think our defense has a chance to play really well, play fast, and play with confidence. I think the strength of our D-line, I'm depending on those guys to help the secondary as well, because hopefully the quarterback's not going to be able to hold on the ball very long, and also just the way we call the game, you know, being aggressive.
Besides Farmer, have you moved anybody else to another position?
I don't think so. Jeff, have we moved anybody else?
Besides
Farmer? Yeah, I don't think so. There's guys that, you know, we're considering. Probably won't do anything probably till, you know, maybe halfway through spring ball or to end of spring ball, but you start kind of thinking about things. But no, not right now, not at this point.
Is this team built to win now, the way it's currently constructed in the Big Ten, if you look around the conference?
I'm worried about Central Florida. I'm excited about that game and going there. I think it's a really good team. You know, I think if you look at that roster, they got almost everybody back. And everybody says, well, they lost the tailback. Well, the second team tailback made second team all conference. You know, so I think it's going to be a tremendous challenge. It's a veteran team. It's a veteran coach. You know, plus they're going to show up there, and not only are they going to have their team and their fans, but then George and all of his cousins are going to be at the game as well. So they got that going for them as well.
James,
Thanks, guys.